In recent years, Estonia's capital, Tallinn, has been experiencing a massive construction boom. New office buildings and blocks of flats have been springing up like mushrooms. In 2007, this tiny Baltic nation's industry and construction sectors, which account for a quarter of the country's GDP, grew by a robust 6.1%. Estonia's energy consumption has naturally been increasing as well. Around 93% of Estonia's energy supply comes from domestically produced oil shale, which is, for instance, mined and used at the heat and power plant here in Kiviõli, in the northeastern part of the country. Estonia currently grapples with how it will implement the European Union's directive for increasing the share of renewable energy to 20% by 2020. The Kyoto Agreement's flexible mechanisms have paved the way for corporations like the Nordic Environment Finance Corporation, Nefco, to invest in several joint implementation projects under the Kyoto Protocol in Estonia.
We are particularly interested in projects in the biomass sector, which is the use of sustainably forested solid biofuels, also biogas projects, which are again an important renewable energy source. We have invested in projects, for example, in the wind sector, and wind energy developments are very important as a form of energy security as well as climate change mitigation.
Estonia's renewable energy sources currently account for just 1.3% of the country's total energy production. This share is, however, increasing, thanks in part to investments from Nefco and other international financial institutions. This wind park in Viru Nigula is partly being installed with funds from Nefco. The project has been classified as a joint implementation project, a financing mechanism under the Kyoto Protocol, and this entitles it for so-called carbon financing.
The overall capacity of the wind farm is 24 megawatts. That means that the wind park is consisting of eight wind turbines, each 3 megawatts, and the production would be around 60,000 megawatt hours per year. That means for around 6,000 households.
Estonia has attracted foreign energy investors into the country by imposing wind power feed-in tariffs. In 2007, these tariffs were increased by 7.4 cents per kilowatt hour, and this has stimulated the demand for more wind parks in the country.
So if we look at existing wind parks which are already operating, for those wind parks the situation regarding feed-in tariff is reasonably good. But as this subsidy is limited, of course, if we look at future developments, the gap is quite low.
In 2007, Nefco increased the amount of its investments in the Estonian wind power sector to 10 million euros. In April 2008, Nefco established a new global carbon fund based on a public-private partnership model. The new fund will, among other things, consider and manage investments in renewable energy, energy efficiency and fuel switching under the joint implementation and clean development mechanism.
The new fund will build on the successes of the existing facility, the testing ground facility. And the fund will be a public-private partnership similar to the TGF, but will have a broader scope, so we'll be looking at possibilities of investments in other countries and regions.
Here in the picturesque and idyllic island of Saaremaa in western Estonia, Nefco has financed another project within the framework of the Kyoto Agreement. The project is implemented in the village of Valjala, and this pig farm produces biogas from animal manure, which is used to generate heat and power for its own consumption. The monthly power production amount is around 130 megawatt hours, and part of it is fed into the national grid as renewable energy.
No meil on 25-27 000 siga, mutta mä luulen, että kyllä 10 000 pitäisi olla, että rakennetta jotain semmoista.
Building on its extensive hands-on experience with emission reduction projects in Eastern Europe, Nefco is now going global. In the future, Nefco's expertise in carbon financing will promote climate-friendly action in countries across the world.
I think we've made a start in the global carbon market, and we've seen that by setting a carbon price, we're able to direct investment most cost-effectively to those areas which need it. But I think this is just a start, and I think we will see future developments in the protocol and its successor protocols.